Guys, I wanted to do a little video to show you what our setup is, what we've got going for a little study on presidents and the elections. Really more the presidency. We're not studying specifically the presidents, but more just about the presidency and the election process and things. It's kind of like a big deal in our house, so it's a pretty big setup. We have a lot of stuff, and we'll be using it over the next several weeks. So I just thought I'd show you what we have in case you're looking for ideas. I also purchased 2 packs off of Teachers Pay Teachers, which I'll show you when I'm done showing you all this. So this is kind of the setup we have here in our schoolroom. Some of the things we already had, some of them I bought to add, and then some we got from the library. So we have this United States resource box, which is where this came from, and this, and the flag, and this little holder. That came from Lakeshore Learning, which my friend Natasha over at Educational Roots actually got a really good deal on that for me a while back and mailed it to me. And I can show you a little bit else of what's in there in a minute, but I just have that set up there. We have our little Vote Here box that came inside it, which we're going to use, and our little Statue of Liberty. And then I love these True books. This one is on voting, and then we also have one on the presidency, and we have one on the Supreme Court, which I'm going to do a whole separate unit on the Supreme Court, but this we just got from the library, and it's a good little, too much information for Wyatt, but good for Ava, for my 8-year-old. We have just some fun picture books. I really like when I can include just a fun, kind of easy read picture book with something like nonfiction. So I have several of those sprinkled throughout. They can also pull these down and, read them whenever they want as they're up for the month. We have Grace for President, Grace Goes to Washington. This we borrowed from the library. That's based on a book. This one we bought. It also has the map in the back, so you can mark during the election, you can mark which states go which way, so we will do that. We have Schoolhouse Rock. These pictures here are from a set that we have. I pulled this one, which I think is about, just when Obama was elected, and then this one about women's suffrage. So they're kind of nice because they describe the event that's pictured, and then there's some discussion questions. So we can kind of change those throughout the month. Those came from, let me grab it here, this set, which I really love, which is called Caption This, U.S. History Photo Cards, 50 cards. And there's all kinds of things in there. So that's where those came from. This, my husband collects campaign pins, so he has a bunch that we had put in a shadow box there. So that was fun to be able to put that on display. The kids really like looking at those. And then over here I just have, this is a book that we use quite a bit, Say Can You See? I like it because it talks about just different things related to our country, and it's just like a page or two, so you can pick and choose what you want to read. We have another True book on the presidency. We have just this eyewitness book on the presidents, this is a really nice, of course, DK, you know. This book, The Next President, which I think I shared in a library haul, but this is really fantastic. It goes through all the presidents, and it kind of relates back, like what President 7 was doing when President, 9, whatever, it kind of shows kind of where they were in time during a different presidency. And then the game Election Night. We've already played this actually a few times. My husband and I played it a couple times just to make sure we knew what we were doing when we played it with the kids. And then my husband played it with the kids once. Wyatt, I wasn't there to kind of help, so he didn't last very long. But I think if he'd had a buddy, he would have been okay with it. Ava liked it and enjoyed it. In fact, she won. So, but what I like about it is it works on their math skills. It kind of helps with geography, and you can do either addition or multiplication with it. So that was a lot of fun. My husband actually really enjoys playing that. We also have some Brain Quest trivia on the presidents. We've been doing these in the morning using our little buzzers that we got from Lakeshore Learning. The kids have been loving that. And then we have this little president fan decks if they want to look at other presidents. And then I have just this bin of some other books here that I will use as we do certain little lessons and things throughout the unit. So we have a lot on women's right to vote. I have some picture books on Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. So I thought that these were all done really well. I actually had a lot of books come in from the library, and I sat and I read through all of them. And these were the ones that I can see us using. This one is really good if I ran for president. I like this one because it's set up like a picture book, but it actually gives a lot of information about what goes on during an election. So we're definitely going to use that one. Oops. We have that one, which also gives a lot of good information as well. 1 vote, 2 votes, I vote, you vote. This is a little DK one. What is an election? You can kind of see how that's set up. This is just one that I thought Ava might enjoy reading. This is Hitty's Travels, Voting Rights Days. I think this is about women's suffrage. Yes, it is. We also have Who Was Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony, Her Fight for Equal Rights. The National Geographic, Susan B. Anthony. These are all so fantastically done. This one I'm very excited to read. In fact, we need to start this because it's probably going to take us a little while to get through. This is History Smashers, Women's Right to Vote by Kate Messner. And I also really like this one. Elizabeth Started All the Trouble. This one's another one about Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Oh, and then this is just one that we had that the kids pulled out, which is the Basher history. So we have that. In addition to all of that, my kids have been obsessed lately with their favorite president, which is Ava's favorite president is Abraham Lincoln, and Wyatt's favorite president is George Washington. I think it's funny that they have favorite presidents at 5 and 8, but they do. So I made just this little tray up for them with some of our books about George Washington and Abe Lincoln. I put in a couple picture cards that we had. They have these little Funko Pop figures, which they love. I had some giant money, the penny with Abe, and the quarter with George Washington. I'd gotten these at the Dollar Tree, I think, so I added those, and some giant money as well. We went ahead and bought them these books. And then Who Was Abe Lincoln? We already had this fact tracker. We already had this and the George Washington. The kids both like those. This was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. And Wyatt absolutely is. I think that might be why he likes George Washington. Well, these two books he's read and really likes. A Lincoln and Me, that's another good one. And this one we just got from the library. I thought this would be fun. It's How to Draw the Life and Times of George Washington. So it gives information, but then there's also different things throughout that it shows you how to draw. So I thought Ava might actually enjoy this one if she can get over the fact that it's George Washington and that's not her favorite president. So anyway, I thought that would be fun. And oh, and this one, I love rookie readers. This is like a great level for Wyatt, but it's got enough information that I think Ava will enjoy it, and we'll probably use this as our jumping off point for the American Revolution. It's got a lot of good information in it. So that is everything that we have up here on display to use and for the kids to interact with for the month. And now let me show you the Teachers Pay Teachers unit. Okay, so here's the 2 units that I purchased. I didn't print everything that was in them. I just printed the stuff that I thought we would use, so keep that in mind. This one is called Election Day Mini Unit, and it's by Saddle Up for 2nd grade. And it has some word cards, which I printed those on cardstock. If I Were President. Some things I printed too because I'll have both kids do it. This had a cute, we're just going to make our own, but a little pattern you could make, kind of like an Uncle Sam hat to attach to the top of this. When you display it, there's a little campaign poster. There is a little mini book. So what we will do is pair a picture book or a nonfiction book or both with a printable or two, and we'll just do that throughout the month. That's all part of that little book there. I think, did I print it from this one? Oh, I thought it would be a good time to talk about good leaders, what you need to be a good leader. So we printed that, and then there was this little vocabulary. You kind of glue this part down, and then you cut these, so you lift it up and you write the definition under each one. So there's 2 of those, I think. Yep. And then a little election vocabulary handout. And then this one, the Presidential Election and Election Day, 32 printables for grades 2 to 5. This is from Kiki's classroom. So this has a lot of information that you can kind of put together in a little, I guess you would put this in a little book, little booklet, which we will do for Ava. It's probably too much for Wyatt. He sits in on a lot of this stuff we do and picks up more than you would imagine, but who can be president? I printed one of those for each kid. One fact you learned about each of these things. A sample little ballot. Oh, this is cool. This little, I think this is the map you use with it. Let me see. Yeah. So you trace the inaugural parade route, and then there's information here to go along with it. Thought that would be fun. There's more informational sheets, the oath of office, evaluating the candidates, things that are helpful. Color the star red or blue if it's helpful in choosing a candidate, just to show you things that really aren't important when you're selecting the leader of your country. Qualities. I forget what this one was for. What's important to you when you're picking, evaluating the, oh, that's the same one, I think. Things that are important or not important. Oh, I printed 2 of those. Word search, who's eligible to be president, election year timeline. I think there's a cut and paste that goes with that too. Yeah. Crossword, quiz, a little coloring activity, and then I voted, little you can make into stickers. And oh, I think this is the map that goes with that activity. And then the presidential oath. So that's everything in the printable, or all the things I chose to print from the printable packs. And then let me show you what's in this. These are the items you already saw up on our display. Our Statue of Liberty has a deformed arm. It's extra long and it's broken, but we still love her. So there is another flag. There's a Liberty Bell. Let me pull these out. There is and a poster, branches of government poster. And then there's these little cards about different like landmarks and symbols, U.S. symbols, I guess, and landmarks, monuments. I think there's a couple more. There they are. I think my kids have been in here. So all those come in there, and then there's a few different little writing activities. These are all on the kind of dry erase kind of finishes. I don't know if we'll do any of these or not. We probably will pull in and do, you know, maybe one or two. Although we already have an If I Were the President principle, so. And we'll use this again in our history unit. I just pulled it out because some of it I thought would be useful for this time. So these are little, you read the little excerpt here, and then there's little questions you can answer. And again, these are all dry erase. So I feel like this is really expensive if you get it new from the store. But I feel like there's so much that you can do with it. So if you can use a coupon, it's definitely worth it. Different branches of government, the Constitution, United States geography, the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, I do have a few books that have not come in yet at the library. A couple on the flag, and just there's a couple more stories, like picture books, and one more called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a picture book, but it's about the election process. Anyway, and then it also comes with this little activity guide that has a whole bunch of reproducibles in it. So I'm sure we'll use a few things out of here, but my plan is to just every other day or a few times a week, just do like a book and a couple activity sheets or something like that. So I haven't gotten into the fine details of my planning yet, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, that's what we have planned for those are the materials we have. Plans are yet to be determined, but those are all the materials we have to help study the presidency and the election leading up to November 3rd. So let me know if you have any questions. I will try to link everything that I can down in the description box. And yeah, if there's anything you need to know information about and I didn't put it down there, just leave me a comment and let me know. All right, thanks for watching.